Hello, CL family, and welcome to another CL Moment. I'm Tim, and I've got some good news for you today. Have you ever wondered, how is it that God can forgive us, or how does He forgive? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Not only forgiveness, but the very power of forgiveness. Because if we're honest with ourselves, we would all say that we probably don't deserve to be forgiven, and that's pretty much a natural occurrence. But we're going to talk about forgiveness, the power of forgiveness, and what it does. Because forgiveness is just another attribute of what God has for us. We hear all the time, God is love. And that's true, God is love. Well, if God is love, then one of the greatest powers of love is forgiveness. Then in return, we have this. Love has the power to forgive, so then forgiveness gives us the very power and the ability to love. That's a great statement. So how does all that work? Where does it come from? What happens? Well, we have to go all the way back to the book of Genesis to find out. Now, stay with me, though, because this may get a little bit like, where are you going with this? Well, just watch. In Genesis 1 and verse 3, we see this. It says, "Let there be light," and there was light. Jesus himself created that. You know, at this time, the earth was without form and void. Things are happening. And what happened is this. Jesus isn't the Jesus that was on the earth that did this. This is Jesus, God, the second part of the Trinity. And when he said, "Let there be light," think about this. Light exploded into the atmosphere, into the galaxies, and light was. Let there be light, or light be, and there was light. That's powerful, and it literally probably went faster than the speed of light. So what does that have to do with forgiveness? Well, the spoken word and what it takes to create light, we're going to see here in just a minute how that has to do with it. So let's go and travel from Genesis all the way into the New Testament. Now we're going to go and we see that we have the cross of Calvary. We see Jesus hanging on the tree. Jesus taking our sin upon himself. Well, he did that because of one thing, because of his love. But this is where those words come in, and it's so powerful. Look at Luke 23, verse 24. Jesus said this. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Now, I believe this. Not only was he speaking, to the people that were right there around him, because obviously they needed forgiveness also, but I believe that when he spoke those words, that he sent an assignment on those words throughout the ages. And when he said, "Father, forgive them," it was as it was in Genesis 1 and 3, when he said, "Let there be light." Jesus said, "Father, forgive them," and the very nature and power of forgiveness went through the ages of time to where when we seek forgiveness, it's there. Think about that. The power of forgiveness going through eternity, time after time. Doesn't matter when you ask, but that you do ask. We find that the power of forgiveness is there, and Jesus spoke it. You can have faith today in forgiveness. You can have faith today that God himself, Jesus on the cross, took care of your forgiveness when you ask for it. Now, you don't let the devil lie to you. I'm telling you right now, don't let the devil lie to you. Don't let your mind get in there and start telling you that, you're the same person that you were. You're not. The power of forgiveness is for you. And the power of the forgiveness that Jesus gave us, he made us a new creation, brand spanking new. So I'm telling you today that you can walk in the assurity that God loves you, that Jesus has forgiven you, and that you are a new creation. That's good news. I told you in the beginning, I have some good news for you today. It's good news that the power of forgiveness can rule and reign in your life, and you can be the person that God has designed you to be from now throughout eternity. Well, that's all I have for you today. I'm Tim, and this has been your CL Moment.